Okay, we'll do as many as we can and then we'll clear it as we go. So A, I have negative 9 over 5 times 8 over 15, right? So the goal is to cross cancel whenever we can. So I can, right? I have a common factor of 3 in there. So 3 goes into 9 3 times and into 15 5 times, right? And then there's nothing else I can cancel. So I multiply, first it's a negative times a positive, so the answer is negative. 3 times 8 is 24. 5 times 5 is 25. And there it is in simplified form. The next one, B, right, we have 1/5 plus a negative, that's minus 2/15, minus a negative, that's plus 4/9, right? So now we have to get a common denominator for these, right? So 45 is going to be the common denominator, right? So the first one I have to multiply times 9 over 9. The second one times 3 over 3. And the third one times 5 over 5, right? And then we'll have common denominator 45. So this is 9 45ths minus 6 45ths plus 20 45ths. So 9 minus 6 is 3. 3 plus 20 is 23 45ths is simplified form for B. Okay, now let's do C. Let me make some room here. So C, I have negative 4/8. This is C, right? Negative 4/8 times 3/7 times negative 2/5. So what I like to do first is I have a negative times a positive times a negative. The answer is positive, right? So we can just ignore these negative signs now, right? We know that our answer is positive, so now we can not get distracted with that. So now I look to see if I can cross cancel. 4/8 is easily 1/2, right? So I should do that. Times 3/7 times 2/5, right? And the 2 and the 2, right here, the 2 and the 2 cancel. And if you don't do this, you're just going to have to simplify at the end, so I prefer to do it. So I get 1 times 3 times 1, that's 3. 1 times 7 times 5 is 35. And simplified is 3/35 for C. Now let's do D. Let me make some space. D. We have 3/5 times negative 2/7 plus negative 5/7 times 3/10. Okay, so let's see if we can cancel anything. The 3 and the 7, no. 2 and 5, no. Okay, over here I can. I have 5 and 10, right? That becomes a 2 and a 1, right? Okay, so we could cancel a little bit. So now I have negative, right? Positive times negative. Negative 6/35 plus, on this side, I have a negative, right? So let me just make it negative, right? It's plus a negative, right? So it's minus. So I have minus 1 times 3 is 3. 7 times 2 is 14, right? And now we need a common denominator, right? 14 goes into 70, and 35 goes into 70. Okay, so 70 is our common denominator. So I have to multiply this by 2 over 2, and this times 5 over 5, right, to get 70. So now I have negative 12/70 and negative 15/70, which gives me negative 27/70. And there's our answer in simplified form for D. The next one, let me make room, E, I have negative 8 and 1/9. I'm going to change this into improper fractions, right? So that's negative 72 plus 1, negative 73/9. And then I have plus, and I'll change this, 3/18 and 5 is 23/6. So I need a common denominator, and clearly 18 looks like it's going to work the best. So I have to multiply this one by 2 over 2, and this one by 3 over 3, right? Okay, and the reason I can do that is because I'm multiplying by 1, right? So I get negative 146 over 18 plus 23 times 3 is 969 18ths, right? So now I have negative 146 and 69. If you can't do that in your head, then just go over to the side, 146 minus 69. And 16 is 7, 13 minus 6 is 7. So this is negative 77 18ths in simplified form, right? If you wanted, for some odd reason, you could change it to a mixed number, right? 18 goes into 77, let me say, 4 times 36, 72, right? So it'd be negative 4, 72, and 5 18ths, right? I don't see any reason to do it. If you don't have to, and this is already done, I would leave it in this form, but for some reason people like to go to mixed numbers. Or, yes, from improper fractions. Alright, and the last one, F, let me make space. I have 2.5, right, F, 2.5, and I'm going to change it to an improper fraction. That's 5 halves times, and I'm going to change this to an improper fraction, 21 fifths. And now we look for anywhere we can cross cancel, and I can. 5 and the 5 is a 1 and a 1, right? And 21 and 2 I can't do anything with. So 1 times 21 is 21, 2 times 1 is 2, and we have 21 halves. Again, if you really want to, you could make it 10.5, but no reason to do that.